Now we can, as I promised, welcome to the programme Miatta Fahnbulleh, the new Secretary of State for Energy in the Burnham Cabinet. Hi to you, Miatta.
Good afternoon.
What are your thoughts? So you are and have been a member of the inner Burnham team. 24 hours in, the Premiership hasn't gone disastrously wrong so far.
I mean, I'll take that as praise from you, John. Listen, I think anyone that saw the Prime Minister on the streets of Downing Street will be in no doubt about the ambition that he's got for the country. He was really clear that we've been on the wrong path for 40 years. If you talk to people across the country, if you knock on doors in the way that I have, you hear people's frustration, that sense that politics is too distant from them, that sense the economy isn't working. And he's really clear that this has got to be a change moment. And he's setting out in a vision for where he wants to take the country and the mission over the next 10 years. Yeah. And we're really clear about that big picture vision, but we're also clear that we've got to start taking the steps to it from day one, which is why we announced today £45 off energy bills, that cut to VAT, which is to give people some breathing room whilst we get on with the job of driving down bills for good.
Without wishing for a moment to sound like a harbinger of doom or cynical, it's not hard to say that sort of stuff, on the way into Downing Street for the first time. Is it hope and change and so on? I mean, for one thing, you've now got Darren Jones. He's a big figure in the Labour ranks, a former cabinet minister until a day ago. He's having a good bash at the policy you just mentioned, help with electricity bills of £45 a year. Wasn't impressed about that at all, was he? That's not the sort of start you want.
Well, listen, to that point about hope, I do think people need a bit of hope. And actually, one of the criticisms people had of us when we came in before was that there wasn't enough of setting the vision that we have for the country, the journey we want to take people, and for people to feel that sense of hope. So I wouldn't underplay it. I think it's really important.
No, hope's definitely important. It's definitely important. But you've got Darren Jones, Miatta. Sure, but you've got a former cabinet minister, but we're looking as if he's knocking the wheels away from the wagon, saying that this policy, your first, announcement of help for people with the cost of living, it's not thought through. That's got to be frustrating to you. Maybe making you a bit cross. Tell me.
No, not at all. Listen, Darren is a great guy. I've got a lot of time, a lot of respect for him. He was at the heart of government. What I would say is the minister responsible for this policy is that it is thought through. We know the mechanism by which we do it. It is funded, and it was important that we did this on day one to show people that we get that people are under pressure. We get that life feels tough at the moment, and we know that we need to provide people some breathing room, and this is why it was a very important intervention. But be in no doubt, it is a properly worked through intervention. It's properly costed, and it will come into force in October. Yeah,
86 pence a week, though, Miatta, that is not game-changing. It's a long, long way from that.
Well, listen, that 45 quid off the bill over the course of the year will matter. It will matter to people this winter. I know it will matter. But of course, that's not where this ends. That is a down payment. My job, and the Prime Minister gave me my marching orders really clearly, was to get on with the job of making sure that we bring down bills for good, because we understand that life's essentials, and that is energy, that's transport, that's water, at the moment feels far too unaffordable for people. And for me, those are the foundations that people need in order to live well. And we haven't got that right, and we need to start getting that right for people. OK,
the challenges begin in earnest now. And you as Energy Secretary, point really for you. I wonder, are you really willing to upset Donald Trump seriously? Because he is saying he fully expects North Sea oil and gas to be opened wide to new drilling and production of oil and gas. And that's not the plan, is it? You're going to get on the wrong side of the president.
Well, listen, I think our job is to get on the right side of the British public. That's who we're here to serve. Those are my masters, and we've got to do what it is that the public wants us to do, which is to give them respite from the cost of living crisis and to deal with affordability. Now, what I would say on the North Sea is we're already drilling in the North Sea. We've been really pragmatic about this because oil and gas will be part of our energy mix for the foreseeable future. Now, I won't get into decisions about particular applications because it's a quasi-judicial process, and I have to approach that and look at the evidence and do that objectively. But the key point is that we absolutely must do the job that we need to do to make bills affordable. And the problem that we have got with the North Sea, the problem that we've got at the moment, is that we are so dependent on global fossil fuel markets that we have no control over, and where you got spikes like, the war in Ukraine or Iran at the moment, that hits people in their pockets. So we need to have energy independence. We've got to decouple ourselves, and that's why homegrown clean energy we control is so critical for that job of making sure that we can bear down on bills.
I get it. So you're more concerned with the welfare, the future, the feelings of the British public than you are about Donald Trump. But when you say to the British people to expect a change of emphasis on North Sea oil and gas, what exactly does that mean?
Well, listen, I think it is about pragmatism. And look, there are two parts to this. I've talked about the bit around, oil and gas being part of the energy mix. By the way, that was the policy we had in the manifesto. It's still the policy today. But also, look, there is a fundamental point about the transition. When I talk to the trade unions or the workers in the North Sea, they will say, we will go on this transition with you, but we actually need government to work alongside us to make sure that where there are jobs that we can have in oil and gas, we are doing our job to make sure that we're protecting those jobs. But it is a finite resource, and it's a basin that will come to an end. So we've got to make sure that we're also doing the job of working with people to help them transition to the industries of the future. And that is about the jobs that we're creating. It's about training, and it's about working to make sure that transition feels fair.
Right, so boil it down for me, Miatta.
It doesn't feel like it's fair.
What is the change of emphasis? Please boil that down for me.
Well, listen, for me, it is about us being pragmatic. And, what that means is we have been consistent from day one from the manifesto that oil and gas are part of our energy mix as we do this transition. Right. The job is to make sure that actually anything that we do has an impact on bills and affordability. Right. And the big problem, and the problem that we need to solve, is as long as oil and gas is being sold on the global fossil fuel markets and we have no control and agency over that, it does not bear down on bills. So it's about how we get control and agency, homegrown clean energy that we control.
Does that mean taking the out of net zero policy? Is that a fair summary?
Well, my predecessor who I worked with, I have a huge amount of respect for. And I can tell you, having worked really closely with him, he wasn't dogmatic. He was really pragmatic. But what he was really, really clear about, and I am equally clear about, is if we get this transition well, it is about bills and affordability, because actually homegrown clean energy that we control has an impact on bills. But it's also about investment in every part of our community. The Prime Minister's talking about reindustrialisation. How do we create the good jobs of the future? We do this through the transition. And by the way, countries like China are already seeing this. They are at the forefront of this transition. It's a global market that we must be a part of. So how we do this in a way that lifts up our communities, adds the way at the same time as we do the job of getting bills down. That's the job. That's what the Secretary of State, the Prime Minister rather, has asked me to do, and that is what I'm determined to crack on and do.
All right, Miatta Fahnbulleh, Energy Secretary in the Burnham Cabinet, thank you for joining me.